Hey everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people. It's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Entertainment only. Okay, straight up off the bat, first of all, please, if you are in Brisbane, Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast, Hinterland, Byron Bay, Cape area, Northern Rivers, any of the surrounding areas, please take care of Cyclone Alfred is approaching. Look after yourselves, look after your neighbours, look after your pets, and just do what you need to do for you. So, absolutely, my heart is going out for you as we around Australia grit our teeth and wait for Mother Nature to cool her heels a little bit and pick up the aftermath. Okay, what I want to have a look at. Well, first of all, I just actually want to comment on something that's been crossing my desk for the last couple of days. First of all, I'm absolutely exhausted, and I know you are too. There's just so much that's happening at the moment. It's like just feeling like we're bombarded. However, still going here, going strong, and the reason being is that we are in this really condensed timeline that feels like it is just ripping the band-aid off and taking all the hair with it. And we knew it was coming, but no matter how bad we thought it was going to be, because we are optimists, we didn't realize it was going to be, well, perhaps we realized, but we were hopeful it wouldn't be. So plan for the worst and hope for the best type people, you and I. Um, just know that this will be over soon. I keep getting 3 months and then 3 years. And I think what's happening is the unraveling that we are going through at the moment is going to be happening over the 3 months, and the unraveling will be complete by the time the 3 months is up. What's that? That's June. And the reason why it's happening is that if we had papered over the issues that are going on in the world at the moment, this division, this hatred, this whatever else that's happening, if we'd papered over it and tried to smooth it over, it would always keep festering there under the surface. It would not go away. It would just cause more division, more hatred, more. The energy would have found itself being fed. So we're basically having to go through this. It's just horrific. I'm feeling it with you. Um, but it does mean that when we get to the other side, when the 3 months and is up, and we are just like, holy far out, what happened? Um, there will always be 17% of people in the world that will kiss the feet of the golden calf, thinking it's the second coming of the Christ type energy. They will go to the grave with that. Just let them go, let them be. But there is that 30% that need to really get in the face. And yes, what was I using the other day? And it had the spots on the cape, and I was trying to work out what the spots were. Yeah, leopard skin cape. Yep, they require the leopard to literally eat their face before they have a realization turnaround. So that's what we're going through at the moment, is that we need that 30% to awaken. They're starting to awaken in numbers. But we still have a little way to go. Then I get the 3 years. So I keep getting 3 months, 3 years. So I think in 3 months, the unraveling will be complete. And boy, oh boy, then we got to start picking up the mess. So in 3 years' time was theoretically supposed to be the midterm elections. I'm just going to say if this unraveling is not allowed to go ahead, there will be no midterms. I'm just going to put it out there. It will be fully a dictatorship. So if anyone that comes out and says, "Oh, when the Dems win it back in the midterms," if this is not allowed to occur, there will be no midterms. So there's no point in even looking that far ahead at the moment. But what I'm getting the feeling is, because I get the 3 months and then 3 years, 3 years would have been, heading into the midterms. I'm really feeling like after this 3 months, there is going to be some sort of and I've been saying this for quite a long time now, and I know there's a couple of other readers that are also saying the same thing or coming on board with the same thing, that there will be some form of interim leadership. I'm not even going to call it government. I'm going to call it a leadership. I feel it'll be made up of a panel of expert military leaders, some perhaps past presidents, and I'm looking at you, Obama. I'm looking at you, potentially Biden, or might even be Harris as Biden's stand-in, and some really top-notch economist type people, might be sort of a Buttigieg or someone along those lines in there as well. That will be an interim leadership, and it may be in when the midterms were supposed to be, that's when the next full election proper election will be held, because it will take that long to actually clear away the debris and to clear out the mess. 3 years is not the midterms. The midterms are 18 months. But I just keep getting 3 years would be the next presidential election. So it may be, I shall back up there, it may take till 28, when the next presidential election should have been held, for the debris to be cleaned away. Oh, and that's interesting, because if I think about the fourth turning, that's when they were talking about the start of the next phase, 28. And I was thinking, oh, surely that's not that far away. So just be aware that we may be going into this, and also be aware that a coup never works without the military, without military backing. Felon 45 thinks he's got military backing because he's replaced the military chief of staff, and I think he's sacked most of the JAG, who are the military prosecutors, etc. That does not mean he has the military. He might think, with Hegseth and some of the chief of staff, there's a heck of a lot of military underneath that level, and he doesn't have. He might have a little portion of them, but he doesn't have the military. So I'm just going to put it out there that he will never receive the Nobel Peace Prize. He might get nominated. Some of these idiotic talking heads might put his name forward, but he will never get the Peace Prize. So what I want to have a look at, and as I was shuffling, this was the card of the regime coming out. I want to have a look at couple of things. First of all, I just want to tell you guys to look after yourselves, protect yourselves spiritually and emotionally. Something that's been crossing my page for a couple of days now is, don't feed the low dimension people, those that are just sitting in their hatred and their vitriol, etc. Don't feed them, don't acknowledge them. Just be aware that they are there, understand that they are coming from a space where they have internal woundings that they are not dealing with, so therefore they're coming from a place of projection and egotistical energy. Just be aware, let them go. What's happening is that on a lot of platforms, they're finding they don't like each other. If you don't give them anything to push back against, so therefore if you do not argue with them, if you do not push back against them, they have nobody but people like themselves for company. And they're finding they actually don't like people like themselves, and they're losing their purpose. So this is all part of this awakening for them, this reckoning for them. So just let them go. Don't give them anything to push back against. Okay, where am I going with this? So Volodymyr Zelenskyy has come out and pledged to make things right. There's some USA talking heads coming out saying that they are hours away from signing a deal with Ukraine, and then they're backtracking and saying, "Oh, next day, etc." This is very reminiscent of Felon 45's health plan. That 5 years later, it was supposed to be out next weekend. We'll have something tomorrow. We'll have something next week. Blah 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 blah. God, I can't remember how long that went on for. 5 years later, we're still waiting for it. Okay, so let's have a look. Have a look. Now, I am starting to allocate the King of Cups, etc. King of Cups, I believe, maybe Friedrich Merz, the new German Chancellor. That's the head of Germany after their elections. He is a Scorpio. I'm not sure who the Queen of Cups is yet, but the Queen of Swords for me is Ursula von der Leyen. She's the EU Council President. She's a Libra. She's an air energy. Trudeau is a Capricorn. He's an earth energy. And I am wondering whether he is the stag that is in several of the cards in the Gilded Tarot Royale, the earth strength. So let's see where we go. So what's happening? Zelenskyy pledges to make things right. What does he mean by that? What does he mean by that? Zelenskyy pledging to make things right. I did post on my posts page, I can't remember the comedian's name, a link to famous John, was it John Stewart? No, I don't think it was. Anyhow, you'll find him there. He's on the posts page, showing snippets of that White House meeting, and the snippets were horrific. I mean, it was Felon 45 coming out and claiming that Putin had never been so badly treated as he was, blah, blah. Just, it was all about Putin it was the victim of these attacks. Excuse me. It was just, oh my goodness. Anyhow, what is Zelenskyy meaning by making things right? Come on down. I don't think he had anything to answer. I think he owned that White House meeting, and that really has hit Shady and Felon 45 hard. And many world leaders have come out and said the US cannot be trusted anymore. It is unreliable. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about Felon 45 and his cronies that are finding themselves more and more isolated. There's just so much coming out. Right, okay. Page of Wands, the articulate messenger. Absolutely. Zelenskyy speaks, I think, 3 or 4 languages, but by crikey, he speaks English is about his 3rd or 4th language, and he speaks that better than Felon 45 and Shady did. Yeah, a really powerful, articulate orator who's bringing forth the Ace of Wands, a new message. Look at the light shining in the top of this Ace of Wands. The challenge is having to re-strategize. Now, to be honest, Russia is out on its backside at the moment. That's why my boys were saying the other day, do not be surprised if sanctions are lifted or cryptocurrency is sent there, or even Felon 45 agrees to sell Russia weapons. Oh, speaking of which, North Korea are coming out and threatening nuclear attacks. So goodness knows where that silo is coming from. Silo implosion, but it's sort of that Russia or North Korea. It's not the US. Don't worry about the US. It's that sort of part of the world. Just okay, right. Being forced to re-strategize, but you've got the phoenix rising out of the ashes on the curtains here. You've got the stained glass window shining down on expressing the power that is coming forth, the side of good. So having to take a breather while the Ukrainian troops desperately hold the line, and I think they will. Russia, I believe, has implemented a really strong attack, but my feels is this is basically their last gasp. If Ukraine can hold the line, Russia's going to find itself just, this is last gasp energy. Ukraine has been very successful in, I think they hit overnight again another huge oil refinery, oil storage area. A couple of nights ago, they hit a big armament depot. Do not underestimate. But okay, this is the challenge. Foundation. It's there for the picking. So what did Zelenskyy mean by to make things right? I'm really getting the feeling of they're soothing the feathers of ruffled feathers of a coward to buy time. It's what I'm really getting, to buy time, um, to be able to harvest what is available here. And I know it's not going to be any US. My guide said that the other day, that Felon 45 had lift sanctions, he'd stop aid, all sorts of things which, within 24 hours uh, came out into the media. Um, just be aware we are on this incredibly condensed timeline, and it's just holy crumbs. Okay, so the foundation, the energy they're stewing in at the moment is getting the money together, getting things sorted so that it can be harvested. In the past, walking away from what no longer serves. I do not see Ukraine signing a deal with Felon 45. They might sign a deal with some factor in the US, private industry or something, but not with Felon 45. Now, I don't know why private industry. Why am I getting arms manufacturers? They won't sign with Felon 45. They won't sign with the government. I'm going to ask about that in a minute. I think there may be some sort of deal signed with an arms manufacturer or something. This is really interesting. Okay, but yeah, loss and walking away. Cups being spilt. Baseball bat on the way out. Not Zelenskyy. I'm talking about Felon 45, but Zelenskyy just walked away. He walked away. Absolutely. Crowning this reading, and exposed the snake in the path that was preventing movement forward in regards to this. A lot of top retired military personnel have said basically they just need to be able to land one more solid blow on Russia, and then Russia is done. And if Russia is done and capitulates, then Ukraine will survive. If Ukraine capitulates, there is no Ukraine. It's as simple as that. But this is the energy over what's currently happening. What did he mean by making things right? He is fully exposing who is the statesman, who is the internally stable, solid, spiritually connected leader, and who is the snake. Okay, immediate future. The plan coming to fruition to bring the ship into safe harbour. That's what I think they're just buying time at the moment. Externally, it's not as it's often the wedding card or whatever, but people are walking away. No, I feel this is more like this is a coming together with solid, not solid, aligned messaging. Thank you. That was the word I was after. So that will be transformative. I've got the dragonflies up the top there. Internally, we've got a very uncomfortable victory position. So look at this. It's not money. It's all about messaging and plans. Okay, internally. Hopes and fears. The King of Swords. The strategy being unsheathed. The action being unsheathed. Okay, the outcome, the world coming together to bring a conclusion. The Ten of Wands, it's not going to be easy, but there is this collective awakening and a call to arms, and the Sun card. I like that. I like that energy. There was betrayal, loss, heartbreak, disappointment. When your closest ally basically slams the door in your face and says, no, you can't come in. It just absolutely heartbreaking. But turn the attention to what is available, and this entire tree here. If you have a look at this tree, it's absolutely full, ready for the harvesting. Taking the higher ground and defending themselves. This is Ukraine, this is Zelenskyy against any negative messaging that comes their way. And then we've got built in the forge of the fire, we've got unity. Now, Shady came out overnight when the EU, etc., NATO, without the US, said, that they'll put peacekeeper troops into Ukraine. And he's going, some random troops who haven't been in conflict for 30 to 40 years. Well, he can go and jam that statement where the sun don't shine. He's such a vile piece of work, Shady Vance. I'm glad Vermont kicked him out, basically, cut his holiday short. And I don't see a good end. I've never read a good ending for Shady, to the point where divorce courts and becoming just a nothing. And I cannot wait for that to come to fruition. Right, we've got here the smoke and mirrors and the poor choices. There'll be a lot of lambasting at the fake State of the Union. It's not the State of the Union. It's just an address to Congress, but it will be full of false accusations, of lies, of fake numbers, of whinging, of victimhood, you name it. It'll just be smoke and mirrors, which will lead to the infighting, which I'll have a look at the GOP later. Right, we've got the Three of Swords, heartbreak, loss, betrayal, but then we've got the oligarchical money. Seeing something from a different point of view, and the money changing hands. I'm just feeling there's some deals that will be done, and we'll get news about them. And then we've got the devil, and then we've got secrets being revealed, or simply lunacy. So I want to have a look at that. I'm getting the feeling that there is going to be, so no, I do not feel that a deal will be signed with Felon 45. Now, you got to remember, Ukraine signed a deal back in, gosh, what was it, 94? I may be wrong on that date, where they signed a deal with the EU and the US to give up their nuclear weapons in exchange for the US and the EU coming to their protection if they were ever attacked by Russia. Well, how did that deal go? What deal? Absolutely. So, the deal making hasn't got a very good history. Okay, so let's have a look. Will Ukraine sign some sort of deal? Now, yes, they are with EU, NATO. Absolutely, that's not out of the question. That's rock solid. But it won't be enough. But will there be some sort of deal with a US arms manufacturer? Well, yeah, huge yes. Not with the government, though. Huge yes. Yes. Some sort of deal being made. Yes. And it will turn the tide. I don't know who this is. I don't know who the arms manufacturer is. But that's yes and yes and yes. Right, having walked away from this hidden agenda that was revealed by the US government, they're going to be looking at this other offer. And then we've got the movement forward. The movement forward, the contemplation of this strategy, but you've then got the phoenix rising out and the curtains behind. So this is the wounded warrior with the light shining. And then we've got the harvest there ready. And we've got unity, joy, complete emotional completion. You've got then this fading misogynistic partnership, the devil, moving on from that, exposing it for being as the snake in the path. And we've got this new opportunity being presented, the ship coming in, the plan, harsh truth coming forward, or just simply being armed and having the higher position. And then we've got this King of Cups, the potential German Chancellor. We've got here balancing act about trying to bring the ship into harbour. And then we've got the Star of Hope and Healing. I'm going to say yes. I think that they are going to sign not all of their minerals over or anything like that. I think there's going to be some sort of deal made with a US arms manufacturer, as well as what's going on with the EU, because this is the world coming forward. Okay. Boy, that'd get up somebody's goat. Okay, let's see how it plays out. Love to you shortly. Take care.